So this is the natural evolution of watching a baseball game. And I don't think you have to be worried about having a 6-year-old kid in the stands or holding a toddler or having an elderly parent or grandparent there that reaction times they can't protect themselves. I think it's just the natural security you want to feel no matter who you are. I know I've gone to games and sat down the lines, especially spring training. I can tell you specifically the last 2 years, my buddies and I have gone down to spring training in Florida and gotten great seats because obviously spring training, you can sit right on the field. And we were down the first base line both years, and we sat right at the start of where the dugout is compared to working towards your outfield. And so right at the edge of the dugout, and screaming line drives are coming over and thumping the wall right in front of us, the row right in front of us, the row behind us, and we are 4 or 5 men in our late 30s that would be able to defend ourselves. And yet we were like, whoa, you got to keep your head in a swivel over here because those are little bandboxes. You're closer to the field than ever in those minor league stadiums. And you've got Major League Baseball players. Boom. Baseball's coming in. You know, we're having a couple of beers. We're having some food. We're looking at our phones. We're not constantly locked into the at-bat. And so it is dangerous no matter what age you are. And I've felt like this. A couple of weeks ago, I went over to Citi Field and sat right behind the dugout at a Major League ballpark for one of the Mets games over there. And they are one of the stadiums that do have the netting that goes all the way dugout to dugout, and then also past the dugout with the seats that are right on the field level. They've got a half a net. So it's not the full high net that goes, it used to just go behind home plate. Then it got extended in some ballparks out towards the end of the dugouts, and then it got extended a little bit more in some places like Citi Field, but with a half a net. And I sat down there, I said, it's a little disappointing. Usually when I sit a little bit higher than that so I can look down over, but I said it's a little disappointing because it is somewhat of a distraction, but your eyes eventually adjust, and it ends up a couple of innings in not being as much of a distraction. I think you always notice it, but there is an absolute comfort in not having to play Henrik Lundqvist with screaming line drives. There is a comfort and a security and a relaxation when you know you don't have to always be on point defending who you're with. You know, I was with my girlfriend at the time, and I'm thinking to myself, boy, if these nets are not here, I've got to be waiting on every at-bat to make sure we don't get smashed in the face over here. But here's what I would say. I'm supportive of the protective nets so that everybody at that ballpark can feel safe and comfortable, because it's unrealistic to ask everybody in the ballpark, including kids, the elderly, and everybody else, to not be on their phones or to be able to defend themselves against screaming line drives. It's unrealistic to ask everybody to be locked into every at-bat and be able to have the reflexes to save themselves. Here's what I would say. Why can we not figure out the technology to make the net clear? This I don't understand in hockey stadiums and arenas and baseball stadiums. I don't also understand it when they put up the nets behind extra points and field goals. Why do we have opaque nets? Technology at this point in 2017 should be able to make clear plastic netting to where you would not even perceive it with the human eye. And when I went to Citi Field, I said, the net's not what bothers me. It's that I'm noticing the net. I don't care about the safety aspect. Like, I don't need a foul ball in my lap, and so that bothers me. I don't need necessarily to feel like I can reach out and grab the third baseman or the first baseman. I just don't want to notice the net. And this happens in hockey. It happens in baseball. It happens in football. Put up the nets. Figure out a clear net. Figure out a clear twine. Like, imagine if our nets were made out of fishing line. You know how tough that fishing line is? Like 20-pound fishing line that's woven together. You would never even notice it. but we have to have black netting. My assumption is that the black netting is a stronger fiber. But how can we not? I mean, I'm watching infomercials where you can put a piece of tape on a boat that's been sawed in half and still ride the boat. If we have tape that can tape a boat together, then I'm pretty sure we can figure out a clear fiber for netting at baseball and hockey and football games.